someone, by someone I mean an external source, forces or asks you to change your attitude, then how to start evaluating yourself or how we ourselves can decide that what is right or wrong?
What's the name? Nikhil. Nikhil, what is an attitude? Attitude माने क्या? क्या करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो? क्यों उसे गोली मार रहे हो? अगला सवाल तुम पूछ रहे हो. एटीट्यूड का मतलब होता है मानसिकता. एटीट्यूड इज अ predetermined frozen set of beliefs. Attitude means I already know. Attitude says I already know. Attitude says I have a belief about this and this is it. Are you getting it? Attitude says that even before I know the reality, I have made up my mind. Are you getting it? You talk of positive and negative attitude. I write a variable over here, I just say A. And I say, tell me whether it is positive or negative. Yeah, tell me. Tell me whether this A is positive or negative. Come on. Positive. Because you have a positive attitude, so it's positive. And those who have a negative attitude, for them A is negative. Wonderful. I write over here in an unknown language. Those of you, and I say this is a message for you. Those of you, and none of you can understand that language. Those of you who have a positive attitude will say, you know, tremendously good things are written about me. It's written that I am beautiful, handsome, glorious, intelligent. Those who have a negative attitude will say, you know what is written? I'm shit. And I'm going to be flushed. Now, is one party better than the other party? जिनका पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड है क्या वो उनसे बेहतर है जिनका नेगेटिव एटीट्यूड है? None of them really understand. And how can they understand when their mind is already full of attitude? Attitude is the enemy of understanding. With an attitude you can never understand because attitude says I already know. And when you already know, how can you know? When you say that I already know, then how can you know? Are you getting it? There is nothing called a positive attitude or a negative attitude. All attitudes are enemy of understanding the reality. With an attitude, you approach the reality with a fixed, frozen mindset, right? You say that I already know. Now where is exploration? Where is the need to investigate? When you already know, who wants to investigate? Who wants to investigate? I already have an attitude. The intelligent man lives a life free of attitude. He has no attitude. He lives in the moment. And that is why he lives in reality. His life is a very practical life. The stupid man lives in attitudes and he lives a fake life full of dreams and ideals. He is not in touch with reality. And his is a very impractical life. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Please, whosoever told you these things that have a positive attitude, be positive and the rest of it, look into it. You are intelligent. Right? You have brains. Investigate it. When you come to a problem of mathematics, do you come to it with a predetermined answer in mind? No, you come to it as it is, correct? You do not want to impose an answer upon it. Do you want to impose an answer? And if you already have an answer in mind, can you ever solve that equation? If you have an answer in mind, can you ever solve that equation? things that my physics teacher used to tell me was, तुम ये सब सवाल लगाते हो. At that time there was this brilliant material and I wrote and you say you solve all these questions, but when you are in the examination hall and you come across a question which looks like a question that you have previously solved, please forget that question. Please do not recall the memory of that question. Otherwise, you will never be able to solve this question. It sounds counterintuitive. It sounds counterintuitive. Just please understand what he was trying to say. He was saying that if you keep that question in mind, which looks like this question, then you will approach this question in the way you had approached that question, and no two questions are similar. You will not get a repeated question in JEE. You have to approach it with a fresh mind, not with an attitude that I already know. In fact, it becomes doubly difficult to solve this question if you have done a question like this earlier. We often think that if we solve questions of a particular kind, it will be easier for us in the examination. He taught me that it is not the case is just the opposite. If you remember that question, then you will not be able to solve this one. Because that memory will be interfering with your understanding of this question. Attitude is like that. I have an attitude that, these two sections, these are the worst among all 26. Troublemakers, problem makers, dim-witted, morons who cannot understand anything. And then I walk in. Then can I understand what you are trying to say to me? Can I understand? Please. You might be posing a very nice, a very sharp question, but what will be my attitude? बेकार. क्योंकि मुझे पहले से पता है कि ये sections तो अच्छे नहीं हैं. And then I will be making a fool of myself. And of course, you. At the same time, if somebody tells me, your two trainers, that these are the two best batches. These students are gems. In fact, they are not human beings at all. Avatars. And then I walk in and I say, and then you ask me your questions of the kind that you have been asking. Will I be able to answer you? Again? My answers, even if they come, they will be useless. Do not live a life full of attitude, and there is nobody here who is not carrying attitudes of some kind or the other. When you look at the thing, look at it freshly. Do not look at it with a pre-existing attitude. When you meet a person afresh, not with an attitude that I already know that he is like this. When you come to a situation, come to it afresh, not with an attitude that I already know or that I will respond to it in such and such manner.